As we all know, we only have a couple more years before we're off on our own and we don't have our parents to cook for us. So I thought it would be pretty useful if I showed you how to make some simple but delicious recipes. Today we're going to be making empanadas, a word which literally means inside bread. Empanadas are a common dish throughout Latin America and Spain. And there are many variations, but today we're going to be making a pork empanada recipe. The French have a saying, mise en place, everything in its place before you can start to cook. So first we get out our ingredients. 3/4 a cup, or 1 1/2 sticks of butter, 2 3/4 cups of flour, and a pinch of paprika. Now first we're going to make the pastry dough, but don't get scared, it's pretty simple. Put 1 cup of water to boil on the stove and add the butter. While the butter's melting, get out a large mixing bowl and add your flour. Make sure to check on your butter mixture, and when it's fully melted, turn off the stove. Next, add a teaspoon of salt into your flour mixture. Then, add a pinch of paprika. In the center of your flour mixture, make a well, and then slowly add your butter mixture. Add the butter mixture a little bit at a time as you mix. You've got to make your dough come together, so don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Once it's come together nicely like this, you can refrigerate it for approximately 2 hours. While the dough chills, chop up an onion. Put a pan on medium heat, add a few tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and then put in your onions. While your onions saute, start cutting up the meat, which should be pork butt roast or another fatty cut. For this recipe, you should have about 3 pounds of meat, and you should cut it up into little cubes. When your onions start to brown, add 3 large minced cloves of garlic, and stir and let saute for a while. Next, add a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of cumin. Next, you add your meat. You want to let that white wine simmer off, and then deglaze the pan. When your meat starts to brown, add a 1/2 cup of white wine. Next, you're going to add a cup of chicken stock. Last, you're going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. Turn it to low and let it cook slowly. After 2 hours have passed, take out your dough and divide it into 12 small balls. Throughout the process, you should check your meat, making sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, adding more liquid if necessary, and making sure it doesn't overcook. Take the balls and roll them out like this. After checking to see that the meat is fully cooked, fill your empanadas about halfway. Fold the empanadas over, and then, in a separate bowl, beat an egg and spread the egg over the empanadas. Now the empanadas are ready for the oven. Bake the empanadas at 375 degrees if you have a convection oven and 400 if you have a regular oven. And voila, bon appétit!